Hello again. Well, as you can see, I've come in from the garden. I thought whilst I've got the camera and stuff out, I might as well make another video, one that I was thinking of making a week or so ago, regarding the British Prime Minister. For a couple of years, people in the UK have been able to create or add their names to online petitions that are brought to the attention of the Prime Minister. One such petition, set up through the Downing Street website, asked for an official apology for Alan Turing, who committed suicide in 1954. If you don't know who Alan Turing was, he was a brilliant mathematician who was instrumental in cracking the Enigma codes during the Second World War. Because of this, thousands of lives were saved as the Allies were able to decode German plans and intercept them before they could come to full fruition. Being a gay man was very difficult in Alan's lifetime. Turing's first love interest, Christopher Morcom, died suddenly only a few weeks into their last term at college from bovine tuberculosis, contracted after drinking infected cow's milk as a boy. Turing's religious faith was shattered and he became an atheist. Yeah, he joined the club. At some point he must have tried to fit in with society when he became engaged to a female co-worker at Bletchley Park, but after a few months and by mutual agreement the pair broke it off. After the war he worked at the National Physical Laboratory, where he created one of the first designs for a stored program computer, the ACE, or Automatic Computing Engine. In 1946 Alan Turing proposed that it would be possible to use the ACE by a remote user over a telephone link. So he foresaw the combination of computing and telecommunication long before other people. One of Turing's early colleagues, Donald W. Davis, went on to pioneer the principle of packet switching and so the development of ARPANET, which led to the internet that we're all using now. Alan Turing was also an Olympic standard athlete and achieved world-class marathon standards. His best time of 2 hours 46 minutes was only 11 minutes slower than the winner in the 1948 Olympic Games. In January 1952, Turing, the founding father of computer science, picked up a young man who subsequently burgled Turing's house. Turing reported the crime to the police and a sexual relationship came out. Turing was arrested for gross indecency, a crime that was only ever applicable to men, and was coincidentally the same charge brought against Oscar Wilde 50 years previously. In the 1950s, homosexuality was still treated as a mental illness, but one which ironically you could still be tried for in a court of law. Alan Turing lost all government security clearances, and the court offered him the choice between imprisonment and chemical castration. He took the latter choice, which meant he had to be injected with female hormones on a regular basis. This had the effect of halting any sexual desires, but also made him grow breasts. One can only imagine how these events affected him, destroying this once athletic body and stifling his mind. 2 years later, Turing committed suicide by biting into a cyanide-laced apple. Friends at the time recalled that Alan's favourite fairy tale was Snow White. There's also an urban legend that says that Apple Computers designed their bitten apple logo as a nod in Turing's direction, although the company now denies it. In 1999, Time magazine named Turing one of the 100 most important people of the 20th century for his role in the creation of the modern computer. And worldwide there are university labs, buildings and statues in his honour. On the 11th of September 2009, Prime Minister Gordon Brown said, "I'm proud to say that I'm sorry to a real war hero," after responding to Downing Street petition which was signed by thousands. They said a formal apology is not possible as Mr. Turing has no known surviving family. Instead, Mr. Brown offered a personal apology. He said, "On behalf of the British government and all those who live freely, Thanks to Alan's work, I am very proud to say we're sorry. You deserved so much better. Speaking in the Daily Telegraph, he said, Alan Turing was a quite brilliant mathematician, most famous for his work on breaking the German Enigma codes. It's no exaggeration to say that without his outstanding contribution, the history of the Second World War could well have been very different. He truly was one of those individuals we can point to whose unique contribution helped to turn the tide of war. The debt of gratitude he is owed makes it all the more horrifying, therefore, that he was treated so inhumanely. In 1952 he was convicted of gross indecency, in effect tried for being gay. His sentence, and he was faced with this miserable choice or prison, was chemical castration by a series of injections of female hormones. He took his own life 2 years later. I am pleased to have the chance to say just how deeply sorry I and we all are for what happened to him. Alan and the many thousands of other gay men who were convicted, as he was convicted under homophobic laws, were treated terribly. It might seem to some that Gordon Brown's apology is unnecessary, seeing as it all happened a long time ago, and considering that subsequent governments have decriminalised homosexuality. It means that Alan's terrible fate could never happen again, at least in the UK. But I think Brown was right to apologise, that at least it goes on record that we've moved on, even though we still have idiots like the Bishop of Rochester, who just this week said, "We want homosexuals to repent and be changed." Other religious bigots in the world have taken more drastic action. We've got Iran giving gays the choice of being executed or a sex change operation. And in Jamaica, parts of Africa and Russia, mob rule kills gay men on a regular basis, and the authorities turn a blind eye. So what Gordon Brown failed to acknowledge is that what happened to Alan Turing, and worse, is happening now in every part of the world to people to whom no government will ever apologise. We still have a long way to go. See you till next time.